Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we're discussing Farscape, Season 3, Episode 15. Infinite Possibilities, Part 2. Icarus Abides. The team battle Furlough and the Chariots to destroy the Scarran dreadnought at great personal cost. How did you find this part?
I loved this part.
Even though a lot of what you thought might happen did happen?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Well, I guess I thought about it once. I didn't think about it again.
Well, you suggested that John might peg it because it would be a heightened point in the narrative for it to happen. I don't think you were wrong. I think you were quite right.
It's a good exit for John Clone. I don't want to call him Clone. They're both the same. For
Twin.
this twin, there we go. Duh. We were given a word. So it was a good exit for this John twin because he sacrificed himself, so that's the ultimate way to go out. And it was in doing something that only he could do, so it had to be him.
It's a tidy and fitting end for the character. It's a bit weird to have this situation halfway through the season where the main character, since the episode 1, is dead, but also still alive.
I think that's why I liked it so much during that very emotional scene where John is on his way out. I kept thinking, this is so weird. He's the main character and he's dying. And I know it's not some trick where he's going to magically survive. Oh, well, maybe. That would be really cheap, and I hope they don't do that. But let's just assume he's dead. You don't see that because that's weird. You don't kill off the main guy unless it's done. It's over.
There were a lot of convoluted hoops they jumped through to get to this point.
I definitely knew he was done for when he purged Harvey, because that's a great moment, and again, it ups the sadness and devastation of his death.
There was one last hurrah from Harvey, but yeah, it was all looking up for John.
Which means it's got to be terrible.
He had the wormhole knowledge. He had Harvey gone. It was kind of at the home stretch almost. 2 days to retirement.
Yeah, basically. I was surprised when he was able to get rid of Harvey. I'm so used to this show having things just get worse and worse. I forgot sometimes things work out. And I like that the show has shifted my expectation to the worse. I expect things to just go badly all the time.
Roller coasters can't go down all the time. They have to have little upward sections. So you keep the momentum going. I like this episode for a specific reason.
Harvey says thank you, Daddy, to Jack.
I like this episode for 2 specific reasons. All this stuff about wormhole tech has been bandied around for ages. And here we finally get a small demonstration. And I liked this demonstration from inception all the way through to implementation.
It's cool that we get to see it and it didn't just continue to be an abstract thing. Oh yeah, wormhole tech and equations and stuff. They actually get to use it and it's effective.
It's super effective. I like that it wasn't just sort of gibberish. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but he linked a star, presumably inside of this planet's sun, that launched this big, highly powerful blast. That is a really obvious thing to do. Like, if you can connect points up, connect the bad guys to the middle of a star, and they will be screwed. So that was thoughtful. But what I like most of all about the whole wormhole weapon is how freaked John is when he starts to understand what it is.
Do you have a specific moment in mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
When Aaron asks him if it can destroy a dreadnought, and he runs it through his head a few times, and then says it could destroy a planet, which is a pretty scary tech. But just his reaction to it is really pitch perfect. He's kind of terrified. It reminds me a lot of the Manhattan Project and the scientists developing the atomic bomb. And if you read about them, quite a few of them were a bit, well, it was all kind of equations and stuff. And then they actually built something. There was
Quite a difference to go from equations to things that will decimate something.
Once you have the actual implementation, it really changes your perspective on things. It also tied together with the fact that he died from radiation poisoning.
I liked that a lot. That sounds strange that I liked his death. I thought he was going to die in the wormhole thing. I was really hoping that wouldn't happen. It's just an easy way to go out. And then they would leave us hanging. Oh, is he still alive somewhere else? I like how definitive this is. And it's not loud. It's not a loud death. It's very quiet. And he gets to have some sweet moments.
It's quite arbitrary as well. There's no, crazy hero stuff, like getting the bomb out at the last second or taking a bullet for it. It's just he's trying to shut this thing off, and he's trying to time it, and he jumps in, and it gets him. And he's like visibly frustrated that he mistimed it.
Ah, the resignation in his face. It's really good.
It's somewhat unexpected because it's so arbitrary. They do all these kind of things like, oh, we have to get out of here in 10 seconds. Oh, okay. The heroes always get it, and then he's like, don't worry, I can shut it. And you can hear him counting it, and then nope, he just messes that up. Or I guess if it's sort of radioactive, it's probably unpredictable. He gets unlucky.
It's different. How many heroes die of radiation?
How many heroes die of just bad luck? That's probably why they chose it, though. Because they like to go against the grain on this show, and he didn't take a bullet for anyone. He didn't die a hero's death, particularly. He did all the hero stuff. He got away with that.
He got to be a hero and die in a different way. What a great guy.
Did he become his own kind of hero? Because that's what his dad said to him at the start of the series.
Oh, God. Yes. I don't know. Did his dad define how to measure that?
I think it's one of these catch-all statements.
So no matter what, he did it.
Well, either do something massively heroic or lower your standards so that anything counts. I think he qualified. The amount of Scarans they've now killed went from about 5 to 100,000 or something.
I didn't even think about how many lives he extinguished. That really made the counter go up on the death toll.
I mean, they're kind of enemy combatants, but he really killed presumably a lot. They said it was twice the size of a Peacekeeper command carrier. Furlough walked away.
She had to. It's her motto.
She's a somewhat frustrating antagonist.
Because
Because she keeps trying to sell stuff to the Scarens. It's not going to work.
they aren't much for negotiation. I don't see that going well for her.
Her mechanical kind of abilities are cool, but her business abilities suck. And I think in this episode she was leaning way more on the business abilities, which was generally just continually try and steal things and sell them to random people until everyone's shot.
She's made it this far. I'm not going to question her tactics.
She lost everything.
Okay, maybe I'll question her tactics a little bit.
There was a kind of a B plot with Stark and Chris on Talon with the Scarran.
Not a very bright Scarran.
No, this Scarran was pretty stupid, and also they beat it in a really underwhelming way.
Yeah, I didn't understand the the module. Why didn't they just shoot him? Why did they even need to have them? I didn't get it.
We've been told before and seen demonstrated that shooting Scarrans will have no effect to the point where they won't even disarm you. It's so ineffective. I guess you could compare it to trying to stab a person with a plastic spoon. So when Talon shot this Scarran to bits, it seemed like they would just get up again.
When it stops shooting, I thought, oh, it didn't work because you don't really see any damage on the Scarran.
Yeah, I agree. If a Scarran is going to get shot to bits, I want to see its body turn to actual like pulp with just holes through it.
I want it to be shredded.
Then I would be convinced. Oh, okay, they really shot that guy to absolute bits and pieces. I understand. Here it just seemed like if you stab someone with a plastic spoon, nothing. But if you did it 1,000 times really quick, probably still nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, the person might fall over and be a bit annoyed, but it was really underwhelming when the Scarran went down. But I think the transponder neck thing was supposed to be some kind of like a bomb or a thing that nuked its brain, maybe.
Which is an obvious thing to do, sabotage the module. I don't understand why he trusted them. Hey, yeah, connect the thing to my brain. Let me leave this room so you two can plot and I won't know about it.
And if that's the case, why did they need the gun?
That's what confused me. I thought, okay, they're going to mess with the module somehow, even though it's really obvious, and he'll get implanted and then they'll scramble his brain and then they shoot him. I guess it's supposed to surprise me, but then it just seems pointless that they bothered with that other stuff.
It would have been much cooler if they put an implant in him and he controlled Talon, and then they shot the implant and his entire head exploded because they'd put a bomb in it. That would have been more satisfying to me.
A Scarran's head exploding would be cool.
Jack got killed, R.I.P. That's the end of the Jack Ancient. Somehow bullets do work on him, despite the fact solar flares don't.
Solar flares don't go through you. Bullets do.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that he can shift where his retinas are to, say, his butt. So he was sitting down and it would protect him. But a bullet he didn't anticipate, it would go through him, and there's a possibility there's a vital organ there at the time.
Okay, I don't even know if this guy shapeshifts or if that's just a
That's just the thing I made up.
Visual indication that his form appears different. I mean, it's not that outrageous that shooting an alien will kill it.
I like how troubled John was, because he's basically watching his dad die. And that would be really disturbing. Basically, this is a great Ben Browder acting episode.
Oh, he was on the ball, and Claudia Black as well, especially at the end. That was a real tearjerker moment.
Their chemistry is so good. I love that last scene between them.
Very sad.
My tears were jerked.
Why do people ever hire Chards for anything? They're the worst. I said this last episode, but they really are the worst.
They have really good availability.
They must do, because they get killed at an enormous rate.
Other groups have really restrictive schedules, and they demand a lot of things. I don't know.
Maybe they're just really easy to hire because you never have to pay them, because they never live long enough to see the first payday.
Oh, yeah.
There's no unions or anything on the Chariot homeworld.
They can't figure out why they're not turning a profit.
They always betray everyone and then get killed. Really easily. They're covered in body armor. Really thick, complicated looking body armor, but it doesn't do a thing.
It looks like body armor, but that's their actual bodies.
Oh, they're naked.
Yeah, and when they take off their helmets, that's just their second face. So it's not actually a helmet.
Okay. I mean, yeah, just... I could believe anything about these guys. They're terrible. Furlough had two hiding in the ceiling who were hiding there for days and then immediately betrayed her.
It was so weird.
And then she killed them both, despite the fact they had her at gunpoint.
Carelessly running into battle is how they advertise that they are ready for mating. So this is mating season, and that's why they're all running around like idiots and dying.
That's quite believable. People do act like idiots during mating rituals.
That's all this was. A massive mating ritual.
The Chards are not very interesting, and I would not care if I didn't see them again.
Same here. They do look stinky.
They look pretty cool, but they are a zero-trick pony.
I demand my ponies have at least one trick.
Yeah, well, it helps. Ryder killed so many.
He wanted more food to keep going. That made me laugh. Just bring food.
He's a pretty okay guy in this episode. He's quite heroic for Rigel.
Secret hero. Once again.
It's not much of a secret. He was openly willing to kill as many Chards as he wants. As he could.
His reasoning was sound. Hey, you're still mobile. Let me do this.
Yeah, that was a real stand-up moment for Rigel. I mean, it's fueled by a kind of racist desire to eliminate these people. So it's not coming from the best place, but it does seem like the moral decision.
I'm sure he made the choice to kill as many as he could first and then went backward. Okay, how can I justify this in ways that sound nice? And that's where that line comes from. But I still appreciate logical reasoning like that.
You can explain all his heroic actions as being self-preservation, I suppose, but maybe that's bad of us to assume that he's only doing it because it's the best chance he has at getting out of the situation alive. Because that's what they're all doing. That's not a bad thing.
He's acted in the interest of the group before when he stormed, I don't even remember now, and then he got stabbed. He didn't have to do that.
It's
And
Alex.
it's Alex, yeah. And doing that was really dangerous. It all depends on what interpretation or how you want to frame Rigel. There's evidence there to support either way. Oh, he's all about self-interest, or no, he actually cares about the group, etc.
I don't think there's a big difference. I think caring about the group is just another form of self-interest. Rigel just comes off as kind of awful because he's incredibly shallow. And he is pretty awful. I mean, I'm not saying he's not awful.
Yeah, he's murdering little dude.
He's murdering bad guys, though, that want to give technology to this guy and so will ruin the galaxy.
Doesn't mean you should enjoy the murdering.
Well, yes. I guess this comes back to the fact that what he wanted to do and what was ethical kind of lined up. It's not one was derived from the other, they just happened to overlap. There was a buggy chase.
Very Mad Max-ish.
Yeah, I got a big Mad Max vibe from that, which is cool. It was originally scripted as a space battle.
Oh, that would have been no good. Oh, maybe. What do I know? But I really like what we got.
Dune buggy chase was fun. It was very sort of kinetic. Lots of good sort of feeling of speed. I think a lot of the space stuff is just numbers. Like, oh, we're closing in on them. 5, 4, 3, etc. You know.
And given the time this was made, CGI is not the best, and a lot of that stuff could feel weightless. I really like how the buggy chase feels.
You just really like how it feels.
Yeah, I like how it feels.
That's the end of the sentence.
I'm done. That's the sentence.
It had Aaron jumping off the buggy. That sort of stuff it gives a really good feeling of sort of physicality.
And right before she did it, John patted her on the butt.
Yeah. Well, that's like a few episodes ago they were boning. Like
No.
full on boning, so a butt pat is fairly tame.
But it's just funny because this isn't them just fooling around in a bedroom. This is, hey, things might go really poorly in this situation, but still need to get this little pat in here.
Either of them could be dead.
Yeah, they could die.
One of them was.
Any
So
second.
it's a good thing he got that butt pat in, because that was his last one ever.
He knew he was dead.
No, it's not that he knew he was dead. He was just living every day to its max. Jeez, it sounds like I'm condoning weird things here. I mean, it's within the context of an open and loving relationship. Have you selected a quote from this episode?
I have. I will read it now.
Do it.
Furlough, is it always about the money? Is there anything else? I mean, how much sex can you have? I don't know. I haven't maxed out yet.
It's a really funny line.
Little did he know he did max out.
Well, he didn't max out. He just had... You see, when you frame someone's death as they've already had all the sex they're ever going to have, that suddenly seems more lighthearted and silly.
He had the max for his lifespan.
That sucks. I mean, probably would have had more if he was still alive. So, yeah, that sucks. It's a funny line. I didn't know if you were going to pick this or his final line.
It was really tough not to choose something from there or his final line, as you said. But it ends on such a bummer. I wanted something lighter.
This is a good choice. It's I don't know why other shows don't write characters like this.
that like sex.
Yeah, but aren't like weirdly either overly flirty about sex or all prudish, or just that we'll say something funny about sex.
It's usually one of those extremes, yeah, and not just I am a person and I enjoy having sex and I will say a thing or two sometimes.
Yeah, they're either all sort of nudge, nudge, wink, wink about it, and that's weird, or it's all sort of hush, hush, Victorian style. Don't talk about it. It's kind of weird. There's like a level of maturity to giving an immature response like that, if that makes sense.
It does. So you're good.
Okay.
It's that level of understanding the boundaries before you can play with them.
And just being comfortable, not making everything into a big, shocking fuss. I'm going to miss Crichton. The show won't be the same without him.
That's a good thing we have another one. Backup Crichton.
Backup Crichton, is that what the surviving one will be known as?
Well, this Crichton was Scar Crichton because he's the one that had the Band-Aid and there was a little scar.
Ah, so the other one is just regular Crichton now?
Yeah. I was hoping Scar Crichton would make it. I wanted the damaged one to end up on top.
This one grew up whilst the other one seems to have regressed somewhat. I'm sure we'll find out what is happening in the next episode if we watch it.
What if I close my eyes and plug my ears?
Technically, you would not be watching it. You'd just be physically near where it's being shown. Let's go.